Hello everyone and welcome back to Sacred Saturdays, a weekly video series where I come in and talk about self-care tips that I perform myself. So hopefully today I have achieved my goal of looking like a Dallas beauty pageant winner from the 80s. This is really my vision for the day. And I wanted to come in and talk to you guys about how important your story is and how important perspective of said story is in terms of relating to your ideal client. Because if you haven't seen on my Instagram, I've been talking about branding. I have a brand new course on branding, and that includes your story, because what we gloss over quite a bit is how rich and incredible our story is and how it can actually help other people. But there's a caveat. It has to have some sort of perspective. I posted a tweet a while back, I'm not sure if you saw it, but it basically said that if we shift perspective from what happened to us, right, to how we persevered, it becomes a lot more powerful. And I actually liken this to something that an old mentor taught me. Now, I'm not sure if many of you guys know this, but for a brief time when I was trying to figure out what my purpose was, I did Manhattan real estate. And I was terrible at it. I was really bad. And I had this whole thought that I was really, really bad at sales. Turns out I just didn't believe in selling really overpriced apartments. But I digress. Basically, my mentor said, you are not selling the space. You are selling the vision. You're selling the dream of what that space is going to look like every day when that client wakes up. And you see how that perspective is much more different than just a set of hardwood floors and plaster. No, instead it's a vibration. It's an energy. It's something exciting that if people can afford it and they want it, then they can have it. And that's the real beautiful destination that we want to bring people to. So when we're talking about our story, we're not saying things like, oh yeah, well, it took me forever to find out who I was, and then I went through so many bad breakups and all of this and whatever. Instead, it's, yeah, all of that happened to me, but look at where I am now. And this is how I did this thing, and this is how I shifted this way. That's how it's created a brand new identity for me, because I did this work and that work. And it's more like taking the explanation, birthing into it a bunch of energy and explanations and real depth, and then allowing people to go on that journey with you and to see what is possible for them. It's taking perspective from exactly the places that you were in before, because we still have to appreciate those places, because you wouldn't be without them. You wouldn't be where you are now. And then showing people what is possible. That's really what we're trying to do here. And that's part of your brand. Your brand doesn't exist without your story, because your brand is you. So all of that encompassing is really what you're bringing to the table. And if you don't know how to highlight that, or you don't know what makes that special, or you still have blind spots or need to do shadow work around it, then you have to take my course, because my dear, I have such a gift when it comes to it. I have done this for every single one of my clients. And it's so incredible when you can take and own power for your own experiences and then shed light on it for your community. That's all from me today, guys, and I'll see you next week.